Greetings, mere mortals. Well, it's finally happened. We've run out of G.I. Joe figures for Monster Month.
Well, I mean, there might be one or two left, but we don't have those at the moment.
This got me thinking, though. When you were a kid, weren't there plenty of figures from other toy lines you used as monsters for G.I. Joe?
So today, we're taking a look at a pretty good example of that. Meet Cobra Khan. This figure was released in 1984 with some original body parts. That's right, we're delving into the loincloth-wearing, beefed-up muscle world of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Any resemblance between me and Skeletor's voice is completely coincidental.
I never, ever do anything for goodness sake.
And straight away, I can tell you that Hasbro isn't the only toy company that likes to save a few bucks whenever it can.
As Mattel is also famous for it. That's why Cobra Khan only has some original body parts. Yeah, a lot of Masters of the Universe figures shared parts to keep toy mold costs down. In this case, he has legs and arms that were originally part of Skeletor version 1. His torso and head are unique though.
It should be freaking obvious why we picked this guy to be in the video.
I mean, his name is Cobra Khan, and he's a snake guy, and he looks like a monster. He's basically Dr. Mindbender's wet dream. I imagine lots of kids used him as a Cobra experiment. Perhaps a Cobra trooper who got mutated into this huge beast. Or he was concocted wholesale from DNA shenanigans. And since in this context he's supposed to be a monster, the size difference with G.I. Joe figures actually works in his favor.
Now, this is still a review show, so, I guess we have to review the figure.
It looks badass.
Okay, so maybe you want a little more.
There's decent detailing on the head and torso, though less on the arms and legs because, like I said, they came from older figures, so there's no scaly motif on them. One unfortunate thing is that although he's called Cobra Khan, he lacks the typical look of a cobra snake, though this was corrected in later depictions. A weird thing is that he's got an unusually long neck for a Motu figure.
There's a reason for that, of course.
Like most toys from this line, he's got a gimmick. In his case, the head comes off, a feature no doubt welcomed by kids everywhere, because now they had a He-Man toy with real decapitating action, and removing it reveals that the torso is hollow and doubles as a water reservoir. You fill it, put the head back on, and it functions as a water gun.
Okay, so it's not exactly a super soaker, but it's fun.
And why do I like it here while the show has lambasted eco-warriors for the same gimmick? Because here it's completely and unintrusively integrated in the toy, instead of being a big unwieldy water cannon. Well, I say it's not intrusive, but I do wish there was a way for the head to stay in the down position, as the figure looks a little better that way. Overall, Cobra Khan is a pretty cool figure.
And Timmer wants it to be known that this was one of his favorite Masters of the Universe figures from his childhood.
And it works so well with Cobra, it's great. Still, if you really wanted one in the G.I. Joe size,
there's good news.
Reaction have got you covered with a version in that scale. This figure was released in 2017, and it is a nice homage. The green used is a shade lighter, and this one doesn't spew water, obviously, but they kept a lack of detailing on the arms and legs.
Which is just hilarious.
Having both figures means you can first take the small one and then make it grow monster-sized. You know, Rita Repulsa it up a bit. Overall, both these figures are nice and would make a good addition to a G.I. Joe collection. Maybe as part of a Dr. Mindbender lab or a dungeon of horrors.
Now, even though it's not really relevant for G.I. Joe, we do have to talk about the character a bit.
Both in the mini-comics that came with the figures and in the cartoon, he first shows up as one of Skeletor's henchmen without much fanfare. We do learn what his gimmick does in these media, as he sprays a kind of venom that puts people to sleep. That's fairly benign compared to what most snake venoms do.
But I suppose it's kid-friendly.
In the cartoon, we learn that he's part of a race called the Reptons who live in an underground kingdom.
Man, I'm getting Cobra Law flashbacks here.
He was considered a traitor for joining Skeletor's gang of weirdos. He, of course, speaks with an exaggerated SS sound.
Time to sleep.
So, in any crossover, there's a chance Cobra Commander might think he's being mocked. Cobra Khan was the first snake-themed Motu figure, unless you count Tila, but his character was somewhat retconned in 1986 when the Snake Men faction was introduced, and he was made part of them, though often as a liaison between Skeletor and that gang.
Wait, so there's a whole subgroup of snake-themed He-Man figures?
I'm not buying all of those.
We'll see.
Let's end with some trivia. There's a rare Argentinian version of the toy with different arms and paint job, and if you thought G.I. Joe toy prices could get insane, you haven't seen anything yet. His name, Cobra Khan, is a pun on Kublai Khan, a famous Mongol ruler and grandson of Genghis Khan.
Also, because of his name, I'm legally obligated to include this clip in the video. It's a punchline without a joke at this point.
Lastly, his full name or title is Khan of the Clan Cobra, which is one more K than anybody should be comfortable with.
Yikes!
All in all, like I said, this is one of the few Masters of the Universe figures any Joe collector could add to his collection without looking too much out of place. I mean, freaking Carcass is officially part of that line, so the bar for entry is quite low.
Until next time, mere mortals. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, as if your lives depended on it.
The evilness of Cobra Khan has you under my power.